Here we are, Friday, and this is Design Talk. This time we're gonna talk about something really interesting because we talk a lot about card design, how to sketch, how to improve, portfolio, management, hiring, interview stuff, but we never talked, at least on this channel, we never talked about headhunters and the art of headhunting. And of course, in this game between headhunters and designers, there is a lot of things that can go on. Some are really good, some others can be really bad. Welcome back to Friday's Design Talk with me, Luciano Bove, on my channel. Ciao, Sibasic and Fantasy Garage. Welcome back. Thank you. Thanks for you like the intro. That's great. So I now we are four. We're gonna wait for just a couple of minutes so that we get a lot more people. I hope, yes, it looks like my microphone is working really well. That's great. And what can I tell you? I started playing my guitars again. After a couple of months that I really didn't touch it. 2 weeks ago, I had a friend that came over with his guitar and amplifier, and we really had a very nice jamming session that lasted almost 3 hours. That's great. It was also a great way to take back, the training of my hands that I think they are still too slow. Anyway, so the head hunting, it's something that it's very, very interesting. Very interesting because you never know, somebody can come and search for you, or maybe somebody is already searching for you and you don't know. And then from one day to another, you get a call, or you get an email, or you get a chat, a private chat from somebody you don't know, via LinkedIn, sometimes also via Instagram or Facebook, and you find that somebody is looking for you for a job opportunity. Got your mail. Okay, great, Fantasy Garage. I'm happy that you found my answer useful to you. So before we get into what happened to me last evening, because it's incredible sometimes, I would like to let you know, to tell you a little bit how has been my relationship with headhunters since many years ago, and I would like to take advantage of my storytelling, which is true, so that you can. So that I can help you to give you a scenario that is not 100% ultra beautiful and nice and smooth, like fluid oil, as we say in Italy. So you have to know that when I started working as a designer, I was coming from Art Center College of Design, which is an international school. So my curriculum vitae and my portfolio has been shown to several people because I was searching for a job. And then I ended up at Fiat with Mr. Bengal, Chris Bengal, and Hermano Cressoni. So I started working at Fiat. I was very, very happy because it was my first job, so you can imagine how excited I was. And after 2 years, so I was still, 2 years, you don't have really experience yet. But I started to teach at Art Center Europe since a couple of months, when I got this strange phone call at home. At that time, no email, no mobile phone, no social networks, no internet like today. Therefore, it's very strange. You are home, you're watching TV, you are in that house, in that apartment for almost a year, so you have a new phone number, nobody knows your phone number, you gave it only to your closest friends, family, and a few colleagues, of course, because you are new. So you don't have a lot of people like today. I know a lot of people. And your telephone rings around 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, in the evening, late evening, and there is a British accent person speaking perfect British English, asking me if I was Luciano. And I said, yes. So I spoke in English. I said, yes, it's me. Who is at the telephone? Well, it's not important my name. What is more important is that I am a headhunter from England, and I would like to have a meeting with you if it's okay with you. So I was very young. I was very excited. I said, wow, it's incredible. They're already searching for me. I must be a super designer. So I said, yes, of course, I want to meet you, because when I was in school, we had a teacher that taught to us about headhunters. And he explained that when you get a call from a headhunter, you have to go to the meeting, because you never know in life. No? So I said, okay, remember that anecdote from my teacher. I said, yeah, of course, I can meet you. How do we do? And he said, well, I am here in Torino until tomorrow evening. Then I go back. I have to go to the airport around 8 o'clock. So if it's okay for you, we could have a coffee together in this restaurant. He gave me the address. It is downtown, but it's a nice place. It's very discreet. No people from automobile industry come to this restaurant. I know. So if you want, we can meet there at 6 o'clock in the afternoon. I said, okay. So I wrote everything down with my pen on a paper and said, okay, what is your name? He said, oh, don't worry. I will present myself when we will meet. You will see me because I have white hair. I am 65 years old, and I will have a blue blazer dressed up like that with a white shirt and a tie. I said, okay. So the whole day after, I was at work since the morning, and I was so excited. I said, can you imagine it's gonna offer me the contract of the, of the century? I'm fine, Udan. Ciao. I'm very fine. Thanks for being back. So I was so excited, and I was all constantly watching my watch. I said, yeah, 2 more hours. Then when I got at 5 p.m., I get out of my job, I take my car, and I drive to Torino. It took me almost 35, 40 minutes to arrive. I get to the place, and of course I said, I have to be on time, so I want to arrive earlier. And I arrived around 15 minutes earlier. So I sit down, and I stay there. I brought with me, I remember, some photos that were Xerox copies of my portfolio, because at that time my portfolio was big. I had a big portfolio with all real work inside, no copies, and I could not bring this with me. And so I made some Xerox copies. Of course, got in the office. I went into a store to do that, and my CV, a copy of my curriculum vitae. And I go to this meeting. So I see a very, I have to say, handsome man, 65 years old, very, very, very British, but very elegant. When I saw him, I said, I wish to become like him one day, to look like this. So he had a little bit of white beard, beautiful watch, beautiful shirt, a very nice tie, nice dress. So I was, of course, I was impressed. You have to imagine, I was 28 years old. I was very, very young. So he said, oh, nice to meet you. My name, and he gave me his name, I don't remember. And he said, I am from the headhunting agency. He gave the name of the agency, from London, and I am from London. And your name, I received your name from a friend because my company is searching for a designer, exterior designer, for a Korean company that will soon be in Europe, in Germany. And then I discovered that that was Kia at that time. At that time, Kia was not yet in Frankfurt. And they have a big project in making a beautiful studio with lots of designers, design managers. They already have their design director, the main design manager for exterior design, and therefore they are looking, for designers to build up a small team that then through the years this team will be bigger, and their aim is to do things really serious. They have the budget and they pay very well. So I said, then how much is and that was a mistake. You never ask how much money is the contract at the first day. But I was very young, I had no experience, and he told me, we'll talk about this later. First, talk to me about you a little bit. So I gave him my story. We took our coffee. There were some nice biscuits, tea biscuits to eat. And then he said, why don't we get a nice, why don't we drink some nice white wine? So he ordered the white wine, and we went on and we talked a lot for more than an hour. It was a beautiful, really beautiful encounter for me. Of course, nothing happened after that for two reasons. The first one, I told myself, I am in Fiat Design Center, solid company. This design center has a great director that did my school. We are hiring new designers. So there is a great opportunity to come in our design studio. And even if I don't make much money, I am at the beginning. Here I know that I can learn a lot. Those are Koreans. I don't know, at that time there was not such a good image of the Korean car companies that did what the Chinese are doing today. So at that time, a lot of skepticism. People are skeptical. No, they're gonna go there, they're gonna die, they're gonna waste money, they're not gonna invest. So there was so much not sure the whole thing in the head of many people that at the end I decided not to follow up the request of this person to send to his cabinet in London, in his agency, a serious copy of my portfolio with a motivation letter, all that stuff, with my contract request. Even if he gave me, how can I say, a range of contract in terms of cost. At that time, it was double of what I was making at that time in Fiat, because Italy always paid a little bit less than other European countries, and in that time Germany was paying really well. Germany was like United States. At that time when you were designing United States, you were making a lot of money, and in Germany it was the same thing. The time period was in 1993-94, so a long time ago. Okay, 1993 or 94. I was teaching at the Art Center Europe since, no, it was already a year and a half, yeah. So many times, I asked myself how this headhunter got my name and, most of all, my phone number. Because at that time, as I said, we did not have mobile phone. We had the telephone at home. It's true that we did not have yet the law on the privacy. So anybody could go and call the telephone company in Italy, give my address and my name, and the telephone company would give you, the phone number. Today, this is forbidden because of the law on the privacy. But at that time, we didn't have all that. But still, today I ask, how this guy get my phone number. Besides, it was a fresh phone number because I was in that apartment since few months. Because I moved out from the first apartment where I lived almost a year in Turin. So that was very strange. And another question I asked myself, how, who talked to him about me? Because I was not, no, it's not that today I'm known, no? But that time I was really nobody, zero. I just arrived. So I was asking myself, I mean, what is this secret police, secret service? How did he know? How does he know? And that thing fascinated me. So that was the first approach. It was one of the best ones I had. But in the head hunting business, in reality, we have to be very careful. Through my career, I had many other contacts from headhunters, from different nationalities, also from Italy, from France, from America, from China, one from Japan. And as soon as we got the new technology like Skype, mobile phone, WhatsApp, you know, Google Meet, all those new softwares that enables you to have a video call, that thing became really easy. So today it's easy also because I am on social networks, just like you. So the most important, ciao Rajat, welcome back. I'm fine, thanks. So the most important thing when you are contacted by a headhunter is to understand what is your position in the company and from how long you are in that company. Because it can be a double-sided thing. Not always positive. In some cases, for me also, it's been very positive. One time I remember, thanks to a headhunter, I had a meeting at Volkswagen design team in 1998. I went to Wolfsburg, they put me in contact, then I talked to the manager in the design center in Wolfsburg. They were very, very kind. They bought the plane ticket for me, the hotel, everything. I received everything via mail in my mailbox. At that time it was like that. So I could leave for a weekend. I was in Wolfsburg. I went to the hotel. They sent a driver with a nice Volkswagen car, Volkswagen Passat at that time. And I drive inside Volkswagen in Wolfsburg, Volkswagen facilities. I had my meeting. I showed my portfolio. It was very nice. There were two people that I knew because they were also at Art Center. Were coming from the same school, my same school. So then it didn't happen anything because it didn't work out. But beautiful experience. And in that case, it was good because I was at the beginning. It was already how many years? 9 years that I was in Fiat, and therefore being that my first job, I felt that I really had to leave. Not because I was against Fiat, but because it was time to go. It was time to think about the career, make that little extra new step that will give you new experience, new know-how, maybe in a foreign country, new life, new contract. You know, the rule is that in general you get 30% extra on your new contract. So if you make, I don't know, $1,000 per month, you go in a new company, you get 1,300 or more or less today. Of course, you have to negotiate, but the rule, the general rule is that when you change for a better position, you get in general 30% extra. And if you go if you really make a jump, you go from designer to management, then it can be 50%. Okay, it can be more because you change category. You go on a higher salary, 100%. And then, of course, you might have a new benefit. For example, in Fiat, I did not have benefits. When I came to Renault, I had benefits. I started having benefits. Today, I have good benefits. So, it's part of your growth, professional growth. So, to change is very good, as I say always. But the second move, the first one is your first job, but the second one, as I say all the time, it's the most delicate one because can project you to a fantastic career or it can push you down to the worst career. So you have to make sure that the step you make is with the right company that suits very well your objective, your target, what you would like to do in the future, how you see yourself in the next 10 years or 5 years. What was the best project you worked on in Fiat? The Fiat 600, that's my design. I mean, come on, Fantasy Garage, a lot of people know that. In Fiat, I'm very well known for the Fiat 600. So if you don't know, I write here, you can search on Google, you will find also my sketches. All right. There you go. I wrote it down. You can take this, put it on Google, put my name, Luciano Bove, and you will find some information about it. Okay? So, when I came to Renault, I came to Renault thanks to a friend. It was how can I say, an information that was passed to me under table by a very, very good friend that works, of course, in the same field. I cannot say more. And thanks to him, I had the opportunity to write a letter to Renault at the right time with the right content. And after 2 meetings, I was accepted and I was hired. So, but during now it's almost 24 years I'm in Renault, okay, 23 and a half. So you can imagine that in 23 years that I'm in Renault, more international, global company. I worked in India, I worked in China, I worked in Romania for the first Dacia project. I am very active with this beautiful channel. By the way, if you are new, please subscribe, put your like, offer me a coffee with a super sticker or super whatever you want to hit, okay? And a lot of people, it's easier today to know who I am. And of course, I am on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is a great place where, of course, headhunters go and search for managers, designers, junior designers, young designers that put the little thing, I'm searching for job, and they go and search and read all the information. So it's very important when you write your profile on LinkedIn how you do it. Remember 3 weeks ago we made a video, a design talk about LinkedIn, and I told you the story of that Italian guy that was having, and in my opinion still having, hard time in getting somebody calling him as a designer because his profile was very confusing. Okay, I told you the story. Just in case you don't remember, into my design talk video playlist, you will find that video, which is called LinkedIn profile. Okay, so you can go and check it out. So what do? They go and search. Of course, they're looking for a designer. They go and search for all designers. They're looking for design management. And around 10-15 years ago, the Chinese companies start becoming very aggressive on the market, because look where they are today. They have very, very nice, very, very nice cars. They have a very good car industry. They have very excellent products. Let's be honest. So they are doing exactly what the Koreans did 20 years before. And this time I had 10 years or more of experience. So I found myself several times with Chinese headhunters. Now, we have to be very careful, and this is the watch out, that the warning that I am talking about. We have to. Did you work on any supercar concept? No, Fantasy Garage, no. In Renault, I've been always working on LCV. So cars like Kangoo, the Kangoo number 2, not the latest one, the one before. That was my project. And then then I worked on the Twizy, the electrical car. But you guys, you know that. All right. And then I worked a lot for the Chinese, for a brand that it's at that time was a Renault brand also. Okay. Jinbei brand. Okay, so what happens that when you are approached by a headhunter in China, you have to understand one thing that I learned with the experience. At the beginning, they contact you and they tell you, hey, I saw your profile. You are the best designer I've ever seen. I really need your portfolio. I have a great job opportunity for you. No problem in the money. No problem for contract. 30 days vacation, like in Europe. We give you security insurance for health, and also for your retirement, we give the full package, everything. So when you receive a message like that, I mean, you are very happy. You say, wow, that's jackpot. I'm gonna make 15,000 per month. Finally, I deserve it. That's the first thing you think of. And therefore, what do? Because you are in the company since 5, 6, 7 years, again, you say, yeah, maybe that's the time I make my third step. So you contact and you answer to that contact. And you send everything you have to send. Of course, you don't have to worry. Everything is being done very discreet, with a lots of secrecy and privacy, so that there is no risk, okay, that your company knows what's going on. But that's normal. However, one thing that you have to understand, you have to be aware of, is that in China, there are, since about 10 years, lots of headhunting big agency that just coming out like mushrooms, many, because China is still in an industrialization period of growth. So there are lots of new companies in industrial design, architectural design, naval design, boat design, car design, and also other smaller companies that do work for the big companies, So there is all a net of companies that is trying to be born, and they are looking for people, and they have the money, they have the budget, because currently in China there's a lot of money. But this means also that guy that send you that message, and in general these guys are very young people that just come out of communication universities, where they learn communication, economy, marketing, philosophy, those fields that help you to speak well, to present well, to speak very well English, to be motivating and stuff. They know what language to use to motivate you and to excite you. The thing that you don't know is that those people are very young, and they are in a big company with many others like them that fight competition to find the right contracts, because they will get a percentage, of course, on that contract. If I sign a contract, they get a prime. They get a prize, which is economic, and they do this only for money. They don't care about you. So the same thing they wrote to you to motivate you to send everything, it's the same thing they write to other 10 young designers, more or less in your same age range and experience range. Because they shoot, hoping, like fishing, hoping that one fish will be taken and they have the right fish to cook so that they make the contract. Then there are also others that have more experience, and those in China, I have to say, there are less, that understand when they look at a profile what they can offer to that profile. They're very serious, they care about you, they talk to you a lot before any step is made, and when the moment is mature, then they will tell you, now it's the time, send me your portfolio or your CV and stuff. I have the right client for you. I will try to push your candidature and let's see if it works. That's a different approach. That's a real professional approach. But the first one, in which also, of course, I went into and I understood very quickly that that's the one to avoid. In reality, they don't care about you. They only care to say to the company, yes, I have another one, I have another candidature, I have another candidate, That's the only thing they care. So those ones are not good. Why? Because they cannot evaluate quality. You can go with a very bad portfolio and he will treat you the same way as another designer full of talent with an excellent portfolio that really deserves, and he doesn't know the difference because he doesn't care. He's too young and he's going after money and percentage because his company, that is a young headhunting company, mainly based in Shanghai or in Beijing, okay, they are just there to make money. So the good and the bad of headhunting. So after a while I understood this, and there are several times that I am still today, contacted by those type of strange job hunters that are very young, and when I receive their message, because I'm polite, I answer saying that I'm not interested, and they insist. And I tell them I'm not interested. And they insist 3 times before they give up. So this is also another proof that the person is not a real high professional headhunter. Debajit, ciao, how are you? My ex-student online. How are you? How is life? I hope you're doing well. I'm sure you're doing well. I'm sure. You're a good boy. Good student. Ciao, John. Hey, John. When I finish, I'm waiting for you to tell us few anecdotes of your incredible experience life as a designer and design manager. By the way, thank you very much for the video from 1983 from General Motors. I put in my story. I also thank you for that. And there are several people that contact me afterward to tell me that video was a fantastic video, because it's true. It's a great video. It's a great video. It's exactly the way I learned in school. It made me think of me when I was, when I was 23 years old. So, coming back to the job hunting thing, then I had another very strange thing. There is a lady. Okay, it happened to me last night. Great, sir. On my last year of masters. Bravo, Devajit. I'm very glad for you. Do it really, it's You are at the end before the great start. So give everything you have inside of you to give your best. Now it's the moment. You are constructing your final portfolio for job research. So it's very strange. Yesterday, now, I don't know if I ever told you that I go to sleep very late. So it was around 2 o'clock in the morning. I turned off my computer and I said, okay, I smoked my last half cigar. I watched a TV series that is an old American that John knows because it's New York, LA, New York PD police department with the 4 or 5 same actors that I really love it. You know, from the 90s until there are 10 or 15 years of this series, and there is a French TV that late at night shows every episode, so I'm following. I really love it. It's my time over there in America. So when I look at that with my brain, I am in America. I'm in USA, and I love also the actors. So I receive a message from LinkedIn at 2 o'clock in the morning. I said, who the hell is it now? I go and check. The person is active, and there is a name of a lady. And because there I don't know. So before I went to check her profile. So I'm telling you this because that's what you should do too, you know. First thing, you check the profile. And it's written HR recruiter for an important European company based in San Francisco. Now, big European company based in San Francisco in California sounds really strange. I go and check if we have some contacts in common on LinkedIn. In general, there are several from managers. Why? Because headhunters are in contact with managers. And I know many foreign managers in other companies. So when I see the right names, I say, well, I can trust. And strangely there was nobody. I go and check her first post on LinkedIn. It was from April. So a few months ago. I told myself, this is really strange. This is really, really strange. So I said, okay, let's go and check the message. Because she wrote me in a private chat. So I go and check the message and says, you're a great manager. I read your profile, an incredible history experience. My company is looking just for somebody like you. I mean, I can offer you a great contract. Are you happy to consider to give me 30 minutes in a video call with you? But I don't do this on LinkedIn. I do this on WhatsApp. I said, very strange. WhatsApp, not very professional. In general, you do LinkedIn first. You write a little bit, few messages. Then you give your private email. Okay, so those emails get to your private email. Then the person, and of course, what do? You ask, and excuse me, before I express myself, even if I'm very happy where I am, I'm curious. So this is my private email. I need you to write to me, send me the job description, responsibility description, contract type available, and you know all the most important information that you need to understand more or less which is the company, what is your job, what the company is waiting, expecting from you, more or less how much money you will make, what benefits they give, and if all this is convenient to you compared to what you have today. Because there's not just the money. Yeah, it's nice. Everybody say, yeah, come on, Luciano, 10,000 more. Yeah, it's not only the money. Because some contracts, they can fire you from one day to another, and you don't get any more money. And then you are stuck. Because what do? You cannot go back to the old companies. They won't take you. So if you are 30 years old, it's easy. You put yourself on the market. If you are 50, it's a lot more complicated. You have to know that some years ago was what it's called in technical words, in this type of things, the golden parachute, you know, which is basically an agreement written that the company, if the company wants you to leave because they are sick and tired of you, because you're an asshole, they didn't know, but you're really an asshole, therefore they say, no, we made a big mistake, go away, they have to pay you 2 years more, because that's a security. You get, I don't know, $200,000, 250 in one shot on your bank account, and with that 1 year you can live searching for another job, or maybe making your own business. But they cannot drop you just like that. The thing is that since 7-8 years, Chinese people and also other companies like in Europe, they don't do this anymore. We had the crisis in 2007. We had a new crisis 8 years later. We had the COVID, big economic crisis. Now we are trying, to move out of, of the bad times with the economy that is growing again, even if sometimes it's up and down, but it's on a trend that is a positive trend. Slowing down sometimes, but it's fine. But still, all the companies all over the world, and I think this is right, understood that we cannot do as we did until the first 2007 big crash that came from USA. Because money is becoming less. And therefore companies are always searching a way to make economies, to invest. Unless they cannot make their product, or they cannot make all their products. Also contracts, level came down. If, I don't know, in the 90s, and John, you can help me on this, it was very easy to go to Ford, General Motors, and get a very good salary in California. I remember Toyota and Nissan. I mean, we were students, but we knew they were paying already at that time $4,000, $5,000 per month. I was huge for that time. Okay, as a young designer. Today, nobody does that. And all the benefits, the price, the golden parachute, all those clauses that we write in those contracts to make sure that it's, that you have that security to live with your luggage, change your life. Go. Today we don't have those anymore. 8 years ago, I had in Germany, I don't know, I cannot tell you where, but I had with a Chinese company that was its beginning, a very good interview, very nice. They were super nice people, and they said, "We take you." And they said, "We take you at the salary that you are asking." I said, "Yeah." So I was there. I said, "Shit, I made it." And then I said, "Yeah, but there is one more thing I have to know because we didn't talk about it." And remember, I was with the design director plus the HR director for design department. So I had the two people that they were making the contract. And they agreed. We all three agreed. So I said, the only thing I said, but before I go and then you send me the contract to sign, I had to tell you that in the contract, I need at least 2 years paid just in case you decide to send me away with no reason. And I don't care, but just in case you say, stop, we close down, the business, okay, but you pay me 2 years. Well, they said, no, we won't do it. We will give you only 3 months because that's our new policy. Directors get 6 months. 1 year only top upper level management, but 1 year, not 2. Things have changed. We are not doing the way we used to do. Many friends didn't have a job, but things have changed. Yeah, exactly, John. Exactly. Yes. So, why this? Because there are several reasons. The first one is the economy. But there is also another one. You have to know that Chinese companies in early 70s, mainly early 80s, 90s, they were coming to Europe to ask a lot of designers, Italian designers, French designers, also I guess some American designers. I don't recall the names, but I know for sure 100% Italian designers, some French, some British design services, and those Europeans were charging a lot of money. And because the Chinese at that time did not know the market, and they had a lot of money, they were paying. So there are a lot of designers that, in my opinion, they are not really designers. They were more engineers than designers. That they just put the clothes of designers into an unknown world with new people that came to the market without knowing this field and the people that work in the field in Europe, because they didn't know, they didn't travel before. They just knew how to speak English. And they, little by little, year by year, discovered that not everybody is a real designer. You know, you go with Digital Design, Pininfarina, and all those big names, okay, that's fine, we pay. But then there is Mr. I don't know, Mr. Frankie, Mr. Gaetano, and Mr. Peppino, they are Italians, that worked as technical designer for Ital Design many years before, and now they are trying to make their own business and say that we are designers because they know how to make a technical drawing of a car, or because they find technical solutions. And those Chinese believe that. So what happens is that the market growing, they start saying, wait, now stop, selection. We need to make a good selection here because we are not going to throw our money out of the window. Besides, government in China said the companies that spend the money that we give to promote you, to help you out, that will be cancelled, and they have to stop their job. So there was and of course they will not get any more money. This means that the government changed also policy, and they were right in my opinion, because they understood, you know, if over there are some smart people, they are trying to pull our leg, and before we didn't have the experience to see it, now we know. So today things are very different. The Chinese, since 20 years, decided, and I think they're right, to open up their own design studios, get good managers from Europe, America. I know several Americans that are there, they work there with a very successful professional life, with very good products. They are starting to have Chinese design schools in engineering university in Shanghai, also in Beijing, I know. So something is moving more or less like here in Europe, or like in America, or like in South America. So things are leveled now, you know. Therefore, things are changing. So when you are approached by a headhunter, you have to know that the good thing is that you feel rewarded. And if you are very young, in my opinion, you can jump in. That's no problem, because you are young. And you need to make this experience, because the experience is fundamental. To work outside your own country, or to change company once or twice, I don't say many times, but at least 2 or 3 times, okay? It's very good for your career. You arrive to my age that you are satisfied. I worked in Italy, I worked in France, I worked in India, always for Renault, but it was like changing company. I worked in China, Over there I was head of the design department, so I had another beautiful experience. I could manage creativity. I had designers, design modelers, model facility. It was great. Too bad it didn't last too long because of the COVID. But 1 year, for 1 year and a half, it was a beautiful story, that I lived, for real. So, but when you are young, you can jump. When you are not young, you gotta be very, very careful with the headhunter that you have in front of you, because it can really help you to make a brilliant move, or it can help you to destroy your professional life. So you must be very careful. They made the research to find you. You have to make good research. And today it's not that complicated with the internet to understand who this person is, how serious this person is, and how much you can rely on this person. In 2012, I spent 3 days in China. I won't tell you which town, unless you understand. Chinese guy contacted me. After a month of talking, everything was set. So we do our first Skype. It works really well with 15 people. It was a little difficult to understand everybody, because some people did not speak good English. But anyway, it was very nice. And they said, okay, we will invite you to visit the company. All right. It was in a very particular time of my life. I was freshly divorced, and so I was kind of free. And I told myself, if I had to make this experience that I would like to make, it's now or never, So I followed, and this guy from China, the headhunter, was very nice, very professional. When I arrived in Beijing, at the airport, the international airport, he told me exactly everything I had to do. Then he called me on my telephone to assure himself that everything was fine. Then he told me which train I had to take in order to get to the town after hours of traveling. And then he wanted to know if I had the driver of the company that came to search for me, and everything worked really well. So I spent 3 days there. It was very nice. They were very, very welcoming. They gave me presents that I still have here. I have some cars, things for the tea. We bought also pure Chinese green tea that I still have a little bit left, which is fantastic. They were very, very nice. And then I left. Then we didn't do anything, because at the end I didn't like the town. I told myself, if I go and live over there, it's gonna be sad. And at my age, there is not only the money and the professional experience, there is also the quality of life. When you are very young, you can sacrifice a little bit your quality of life. Because when you go on vacation on Christmas and stuff, you go back to your roots, you go back to your friends, to your family. But when you are older, then quality of life becomes much more important. And then on the balance, you have to put the money, professional experience, opportunity to meet new people, to have some really exciting moments, and then the quality of life. So when I went to China to work for Renault, that was different. The company asked me to go, and of course I say yes. And I told myself, you see, at the end I made it. I have this opportunity, 2 years contract, and that's nice. Because my role was to start a new thing, over there. So great. And I like those tasks. It's more interesting for me to start, like when I went to India, to start something new from zero, with the help of the company, of course, but search for this, search for that, let's hire this, let's hire that. Those are the first project. How do we do? Teach to the local people that we do things differently. Teach to local people what it means of quality design, that certain things we cannot accept anymore. You know, philosophy. That thing I love. But to be there 5 years, 10 years, no.